This man shares his wife with his best friend. I kid you not. This man shares everything with his friend, starting from food, the wife, and even children. Surprisingly, they are both living a happy life together.
Bilikuwa nguvu kwangu kusema niweze, giza liniambia, vrema bilikuwa nguvu. Juu kusema niweze toka na rafiki yake au kuongea tu na hai bilikuwa nguvu.
Ile journée ya kwanza nilionaka vitanishoke sana kuona bibi ya mtu ni kufunga roho. Basi nikajifahamu, nikalewaka ndani nikakunywa pombe mingi.
Normally, people have boundaries on what they share when it comes to personal life. But why does this man share everything with his best friend? Is there an agreement they had before proceeding with this? And how do they plan to explain this to their children after growing up?
Bilikuwa kabia nguvu kwangu nikaona paske ni bwana njoo alipenda. Ile situme tunakuwa naleta fujo mnyumba kila siku. Nikaitika tu nikafinire kuitika tu vile.
When I was in DRC in a small town called Goma, someone told of this extraordinary story. I found it hard to believe, so I decided to learn more by visiting them. This is a story your ears have never heard and your eyes have never seen before. My name is Patrice. This is our house. After getting married to my wife, we tried to have a baby and we couldn't. For the past 6 months, it looked as if it wasn't really bad. And then the first year went by, but after 2 years, people started saying hurtful things about us being unable to have children. I couldn't believe that we're trolled for things that we couldn't control. This couple at the time wanted children to make their family complete. They started blaming and condemning each other, but also took time and looked for a more radical approach for this issue, and then came up with a not decent idea for them, but guess what? It worked, though not everyone appreciates what they did.
Kikao nishie tu atuzalake, tantoni madame, tantoni mie.
We were criticized and regarded as people who have failed in their marriage. Instead of support, we were mocked, and we started being afraid of our own friends due to being ashamed. My wife suggested, I try to have a child with another woman. It sounded strange and I couldn't believe it, but she insisted, and I knew that she was serious. She made it clear that she would not get mad at me, for that would benefit both of us. And after that green light, I went and looked for women, slept with them for the first, the second and the third time, but still I couldn't impregnate any. I also tried for further 3 more times but still failed.
I'm Kavira
Zubeda. We faced a problem and were ready to do anything to solve it. But first of all, we had to talk openly about our decisions.
Their initial efforts were unsuccessful, so they considered seeking medical advice. They went for some checking at the hospital to really see what was wrong and then determine what would be done, and the results were quite shocking to both of them. The tests showed I can't have children, but my wife can. It was very challenging for both of us, and we wondered how we would put an end to the trolls we constantly faced, and then came up with one crucial idea that sounds strange and weird at the same time. But we have made sure it remains a secret between us. I called my best friend, whom we shared everything since young, and asked him to do a favor for me. The friend of mine also couldn't believe what I was telling him and maybe thought I was drunk, but I was determined to convince him, since he was the only person I could ever trust. He accepted, and what followed was convincing my wife to just not say no. To the wife, she had vowed not to ever abandon the husband, despite the pressure from the families, and regardless of the results which proved she had any other problem but the husband wanting a child, couldn't let them spend their life without any child at home. He then made sure both his friend and wife agreed to handle the situation.
I told him to stop worrying about children and move on, but he wasn't going to give up that easily. I knew his friend, and he constantly visited us, and we could share whatever we had. He was a real friend indeed, but I could not support the idea of trying to have a child with him, and I denied it instantly, but this angered my husband. and we started having daily misunderstandings and quarrels, and for peace to reign, I had no other choice.
Patrice asked for a big favor. I hesitated but agreed to help. I ended up fathering 3 children, but we agreed they would be his. I don't consider those children to be mine, and we made some agreements confirming that. I'm glad I helped my friend, and he's now a happy father. And I think what we did has remained as a secret for both of us. This unique story shows how they live happily, sharing everything while keeping their friendship strong as usual, as if nothing really happened. To others it would be shocking, but to them, they have no problem with it. And the wife has made sure that she does not develop feelings for this man, who has impregnated her for 3 times, which would create some more problems that would end up destroying her family. Yet she wants to keep having such a happy family, and both Patrice and his wife never got the old critics they faced before delivering these 3 children, and made sure that no outsider knows their secret, not even close neighbors like Kasereka. I've known those 2 men for a long time. They are both married and have a deep friendship and connection that I would also like to have friends like them. I once met them at a football field, and from there, I learned that they have been friends since young, and I was impressed by their loyalty. When each of them gets some money, they call one another and share some beer together. If I'm lucky enough, they also call me and we share drinks and have fun. I really like them.
Ile journée ya kwanza nilionaka vitanishoke sana kuruna bibi ya mtu.
It was hard letting my wife sleep with another man, but I did what was necessary for us to have children. I believe it was even luck. What if the friend refused? Or what if he later made my wife his second? I'm grateful that none of those happened, and our bond remains unshaken. Everyone believes these children are mine, which is true, as I'm the one who feeds and raised them. To me, it's an honor. I feel like a complete man, thanks to my friend.
Bilikuwa kabyangufu kwangu me. Nikaona paske ni bwana njoo alipenda.
I will never have feelings for his friend. No way. I'm even the one who told my husband that we should stop making babies and now focus on raising them. We have 3, and I guess those are enough, if not many. I can't say we don't have problems about this, but we have to solve this amicably. And since it was my husband's wish, not mine, when we have some misunderstandings, he's the one who apologizes and life continues. I think my children will grow up looking up to their father and will never know exactly what we did. And since my husband takes good care of them, that's enough. We remain a happy and complete family.
This family teaches us a great lesson that we should never be defined by societal norms, but rather by whatever that makes us happy, even though it might include some risky decisions, because at one point the risk is worth it, and we should trade everything for our own happiness and peace of mind. They remind us that we should always define happiness in our own terms, even if it means making unusual choices. Thank you for watching. I am Simon Greenwood, and this is Afrimax English. Do not forget to subscribe.